this meeting of Student Senate to order for the General Assembly at 4:31 p.m. on Thursday, July 11th, 2024. I will now read the opening script to our meeting. Welcome to our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting. It'll be recorded for transparency and record-keeping purposes. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. To senators, members, if you're able, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting. Use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to ask questions or request a roll call vote. During the roll call vote, it is required for you to be accepted as being present. So you, at the very least, you have to turn on for that. As a chair, I'll do my best to call on committee members in the order in which hands are raised. Lowering your hand will take you out of the queue. And that's it for the opening script. So moving on to the roll call, VP Tao.
Roll call start now. Executive Council President Brito.
Here I am.
Present. Vice President of Administration and Finance Tao. Present. Vice President of Legislative Affairs Ashmi.
Did we get any message from him? No, I didn't hear anything either. I'm absent for now.
Vice President of Team Development Salifu.
Present.
Gotta turn your video on to be present.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the video? Wait, are you there? Oh, did she do it?
Yes, I'm in the car right now, so I will do it in a couple minutes.
Okay. Okay, be safe.
Thank you.
Vice President of Public Relations Megosha.
Nothing? Okay.
Advisor Cole.
Present.
Move to Drax Campus Centers. Senator Avila. Senator Avila.
Yo, Angel, can you hear us? I'll just type it for him. Move on.
Senator
He's present. Yeah. I know his situation, so it's okay.
Senator Sarah Bronner. Senator Sarah Bronner.
Yeah, she's here.
Senator Kamara.
Oh, he's excused. That's right. Mhm. He is getting married this weekend,
Oh,
so he's getting all the preparations ready.
Senator Jacobson.
Present.
Senator Juve.
Did you hear anything from her? No.
She was gonna be here.
Okay, absent for, well, she said she's gonna be here, so you can put late. Let's just see what happens. We'll change it later.
She just joined online.
It's just turned on.
Maggie here. You can put her present. It's close enough.
Senator Oviedo.
No. Trushio, no.
Senator Tinoco.
No, he's not. Summer opt out. We'll just say that.
Senator Wilking.
I know he's traveling right now. The question is whether or not he's on a plane. He did tell me he was going to be traveling, but
Excused.
let's just put that now. I will,
Oh, he told you.
because of the time difference. Yeah, I have a feeling that since he did tell me.
Move to regional and metro campus senators. Senator Portage, Senator Crowder.
Present.
Reesburg, Senator Stacy Bronner. Senator Stacy Bronner.
I'm here.
Hi, Stacy.
Voted on Senate vacant. Fort Atkinson, Senator Dirks.
Present.
Goodman South Senator Bissonnette,
Present.
There we are. Okay, Melina's here. She was having technical difficulties, so let's just put present for her. Because she was planning on being here, so it sounds like she's.
Permit.
So format,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, moving on. Approval of previous meeting minutes. Did everyone get a chance to look at them? Unfortunately, we didn't upload them until today, so you didn't get a chance to look at them beforehand. But for people that we got you, Maggie. For people that were were looking for it yesterday, didn't have it, but now we do. And they're physically here with us. But I don't know if you just want to pull it up on screen. Yeah, we'll just scroll through really quick and just do a highlight on it. I think the two biggest things.
My mic on, off.
Yeah, I mean, Cole, you wrote the meeting minutes, so I feel like you're okay with what you wrote, and then I wrote my own reports. So those are physically in there from the written part. I think we just need to review the unfinished business, and if there's a vote in there, and the new business. Set it off. But yeah, if you can pull it up, pull it up. There you go.
Oh, thank you. And I'm like, what? Am I
Just call me Tech Wizard.
Yeah, and I haven't used my Mac in like a year. I've just been using the school computer, so now I'm like.
That's true, the ThinkPad, the brick in your backpack.
Now I'm like, how do I use my Mac?
Just in 1 minute, it's not recognizing Adobe for some reason.
Okay, hold up, I might be able to, let's see who wins.
Yeah, it honestly probably you. See if I can get it right now.
Getting closer. 7-Eleven.
All right, got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and we'll just scroll down. Everything in there is just the opening script. Everything in there is reports of what people said. I think those are not the most important things on minutes because no one else gave reports. So it's just me and Cole really that had the major things. So we can just get through that. And we'll just go over the unfinished business where you voted on Juneteenth stuff. You want to just zoom in on that, just make sure people know. So really it's just saying what people said, points of interest. During this meeting, we came up with an idea to read out bills or resolutions completely and to just send them a few days ahead of time, not just 1 day. I know I'm meeting the minimum requirement when I send these out, but we should do a little better than the minimum. So we can do that. And that would require a change to the bylaws, but we won't do that for now. We'll just collectively understand that that's what we want to do, and I can just hold me accountable to making sure that happens. So we'll just make sure that that is the case. Yep, and then the attendance sheet, we're gonna go over the attendance sheet again, so just scroll down. The new business, we just talked about the 3-year plan, so that information was sent out to you. So if you want to know what it is, we'll be doing another lesson on the 3-year plan. We have a 17-minute video that me and Annette did. So we're going to overview our 3-year plan and see where our budget is. It'd be really good, and maybe you can help present that alongside us, VP Tao. Not to put you on the spot, so think about it. Something to think about, and then yep, just general announcements. So if everyone's generally good with that, can I get a motion to approve? Okay, motion made by Senator Crowder. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Senator Jacobson. Vote by unanimous approval if all of those are okay with it. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Everyone's okay with it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Someone is raising their hand.
Oh, okay.
Senator
Is that
Stacy Brunner.
Stacy, what do you got for me? Or is it Sierra?
Both of them just raised their hand and put their hands down.
Oh, sorry, we did this new thing just to make it go faster, but if you're okay with it, sounds like you are, then we can just go ahead and approve the meeting minutes. Everyone's okay with it? 3, 2, 1, okay. Okay, meeting minutes approved, vote by unanimous approval. Moving on to the agenda. Yeah, if you want to pull that up,
Put the agenda up.
yeah, please.
So
In the agenda, when we get it pulled up, you'll see that it follows mostly the same format. The only things that change is we're doing another check-in on the attendance sheet. We're gonna be taking some in meeting time to go through the Senate committee assignments. Me and Nohaya are doing the presentation on NACA, where we went to from Indiana for about a week, half a week. And then we have some non-business. We're gonna talk about, what public comment we have signed up for. I do try to listen to what y'all have, so just scroll down. That's all generally the same. It's the general same format, all the reporting and stuff like that. The things that do change out are the unfinished business, new business, non-business. We will be going over the public comment, and then I'll be talking about the presidential search committee, in which I am on. Me and one other student are on that, and we're searching for a new college president because Dr. Daniels will be retiring in December, or those are the current plans at least. But if that all sounds good, can I get a motion to approve? Okay, motion made by Senator Dirks. Do I have a second? Second made by Senator Bissonnette. So any discussion? Not seeing any hands, therefore vote by unanimous approval. If everyone approves, then this motion shall pass, or if no one disapproves. So is everyone okay with that? Speak your dissent right now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, agenda passes. We can move on. Okay, talking about public comments. Do we have any public comments that came in last minute? No? Okay, we didn't have anything scheduled, so people can come and do random, what's it called? We can randomly state their concerns to us. So that's just something we should be aware of if students want to come in and talk to us about things. But disclosures and recusals, if anyone, a section for disclosure and recusals, if anyone has any partnerships, affiliations, associations, ownerships of anything related to the business items up for discussion, you can speak now. Don't think anyone should. It's just about NACA and nothing that we don't already know that we're part of. But if anyone has anything, it's mostly related to resolutions and bills. Doesn't sound like it, so we can move on. I don't see any hands. Reports from officers, advisors, and standing committees. Starting with Executive Council and President report. So let me just pull up my report and just read it out from there. Sorry, I'm looking for it. Okay. So for President's reports, as we know, we appointed General Senator Layla Jacobson to the Inclusion and Belonging Coordinator. So congratulations yet again for that will be happening. We'll be reaching out to you shortly about when you're free and available. Sorry, my schedule's so packed. So we'll make some time and I'll make it work because I'll be very free in that week. But so that's good. Fort Atkinson Senator Lando Dirks, Communication Coordinator. So congratulations to you. I hope you're paying close attention to everything I'm saying because now you'll be writing it down. So that'll be your role. Student Senate's continuing to work on the eligibility of students to sit in hiring committees for advisor positions in student life. Recently met with Dr. Tim Casper, the Executive Vice President of Student Affairs. So some of the things that we discussed is that it does seem like that's something that can move forward. He's working with HR to make sure that the language that's written in the contract just kind of fits and is consistent with what currently exists. So again, this will just be to allow students to sit in on the hiring process for positions in student life. Last year, we hired a new student senate advisor, we hired a new director of student life, and we hired a volunteer center advisor, but students couldn't sit in on it to be able to weigh in on who would be hired. Now this year, we're gonna be hiring an ELT clubs position, and we might be, if things go well, we might be hiring for 2 different student life positions that are not yet to be created, pending there's room in the budget. So that's the STEM Center, which wants to join the Student Activities Board, which they will need an advisor and they might need to be partially funded. So those are discussions that we'll be having later on in the future, but that's why we want to get this set up because we're going to be hiring potentially 1 or more people depending on where our budget's at. So more on that later. But things to consider is, what is the scope of who we can hire? Should students be able to input for the selection process for the president, for the provost, for the dean of students, et cetera? What is within our purview? And so those are some questions and we'll have to figure out what that is. What's the timeline for approval? It's very likely going to be to the end of the semester. It's gonna be a big discussion because we're gonna have to involve SAB in the matter, which is the Student Activities Board, which is it's the 10 or 9 other organizations that, weigh into how the student activities fee is going to be allocated for the budget. So these are all things that we're gonna be discussing, over the course of the semester, and hopefully by the end of it, we'll have our answer, hopefully just before the budget starts for the next cycle, but that'll be a big thing we'll take care of in the spring. We're gonna be talking about ideas for Napa campus, and in the presentation, you'll see, I talk about common hours. What if, like, imagine a scenario, like, what if we had 12:30 to 1:30 blocked off? And that no classes were scheduled then, and we could all like have club meetings during that, or we could all have lunch together, or we could have like any number of things that students could just like hang out with each other. So, and when there's no classes, there's not really like an excuse. You can go home, get a lunch yourself for an hour, or do whatever else you wanted with that extra hour. But then we can all have classes early in the morning if you're an early riser, or late in the day if you're a late person. So, we'll work around that, but that's an idea that we had and other schools are currently doing. We want to expand the reflection room to include interfaith space. A lot of people use the reflection room for prayer, but some people want to use it for like meditative stuff. And like, how do you like balance that? Well, the answer is just like more space, I think. So we're just going to be trying to identify spaces that we can use for that purpose, and perhaps the IE is interested in that as Nohaya. This was Nohaya's idea, so give credit where credit's due. So I think she'll be taking the lead on that, and obviously I will help you, Nohaya, so I'm not a sole thing yourself. Redistributing leftover food to students. You'll hear more about that later today, but we talked a little bit about it during our meeting. So I think we have general support with some concerns, and we'll talk about it in our presentation today. As you know, last time, Senate executive team is going to plan a day-long in-person training event. So we're going to all together come together, and then we're going to talk about ideas for how do we want to change things, and how should Senate be operating on campus in the most effectively. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of work. And hopefully you'll find a lot of value at it, and we're going to pay you at the end of it. So it'll make it be worth your time. And last thing is that, shared governance. We're having discussions right now about ideas to revamp things. Right now, up for consideration. So I'm going to be advocating against this, but there are talks to, combine student affairs council with the academic council, which I don't think we should, because students need to have a forum where they can specifically talk about their issues. But that's kind of what's on the chopping block right now. So that's one of the things they were talking about, making DCRC like part of every single council, which I'm actually a proponent for. Actually, Mac was the one that proposed that idea. So good on Mac for doing that. Not here today, but it do be like that. And the last thing from the shared governance team is that we're just trying to make things more efficient. So we're trying to figure out ways. So we came up with like 42 different ideas, and we're gonna be rating all of them and seeing how that fits. How it fits into our current structure, and maybe ways in which we can change things. Those are generally where we're at. But once we narrow things down, I'll be able to give you more ideas. But those are the big takeaways I thought I'd share. So that concludes my report. Anyone have questions? See a question already? Yeah.
The two
Crowder.
councils that they're talking about combining the student affairs and the academic council, can you tell us the difference between the two?
I think so. My perspective is that the way shared governance works, they pick one issue and they work on that issue throughout the course of a year, right? So if it takes a year to do things, then for student affairs, you're not going to be able to get your issue heard of mostly by the time you either graduate, or maybe by the time you're already done, it won't really impact you. So it's a little sad that you can't do that, but it'll get even worse if you combine the two things and you work on one thing only with one council over the course of 1 year. I just feel like maybe it'll make things more efficient. Maybe with more people, it'll go, instead of 1 year, it'll take like 6 months on average. But that's still like, I feel like that's not it. And so we're trying to find ways to make it move faster. And I don't think eliminating student affairs is really the answer. So I really advocated today about that. I didn't give my reasoning yet because we weren't supposed to critique, but that's kind of where I'm at. Like, students need a forum to like have their voices heard. And Student Senate is supposed to be that, like, make no mistake, but like to the administration. Because like we have like the access, but like, shouldn't everyone have that access? You know what I mean? If they wanted to, they should be able to do that. So that's kind of where we kind of landed on that. So that's what I've been advocating for. If you want to put statements, you can either send them to me, or I can give you the contacts for who to send it to. So yeah. So that's our take on that. But yeah, institutional effectiveness was like, oh, let's just spread ourselves out. Let's do what TCRC wants to do and spread ourselves out to every single other council. So the two of those really want to just like embed themselves within other councils. So that's kind of where that's at. Yeah. So generally, any other questions? I hope I didn't take longer than 5 minutes. Cole, were you timing me? Okay, well, we're done. We're here. So thank you. Moving on, Administration Finance Committee, VP Tao, do you have anything today beyond what's already in the in there?
No report.
No report? Okay. Thank you. Legislative Affairs Committee, he's absent. Team Development Committee, VP Salifu, do you have anything? If you have any, updates about the in-person Senate training, that would be welcome too. Otherwise, you're free to say no report for now.
May I want to add something from the NACAT? Can I?
I think we're having trouble hearing you. You can turn your video off to preserve bandwidth, and maybe we can hear you if you have your video off. Oh,
Yes, can you hear me now?
I think so.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I said I also want
Good.
to add something from the NACAT trip.
Okay.
Yes, we also talked with Kai about like making some icebreaker during like our Senate like meeting. So like every Thursday, maybe like bring some topic that we discuss about. So that we can like some icebreaker before like to talk about like business. So that is also one of the things that we talk about. So I just want to mention that too. Otherwise, no
Thanks
report.
thanks for reminding me. I will include that in the next meeting, which I will be here for. So go ahead and brainstorm for an icebreaker for the next one. We'll try and make it fun.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, was Melina able to get back on? VP Magosha? She's able to? Okay, moving on to Public Relations Committee. VP Magosha, you sent out an email.
Perfect. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yep, I just wanted to touch on the email I sent out to everyone. If you guys noticed, I shot out an email yesterday just about being able to volunteer for the Wolfpack Welcome. So if everyone just wants to go ahead and review that, but just the basic stuff is we'll be helping out with tabling at the Wolfpack Welcome. We usually help out on that event. So I sent out an email and a sign up genius to everyone. So it'd be really nice if everyone that's a part of the Senate would volunteer for a shift. We understand that like some people might have some conflicts, but definitely let me know if you have questions and just take a look at that email. But yeah, there's a few dates for the Wolfpack Welcome, and then all of those dates we will be tabling.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. I will be at Wolfpack Welcome for a number of those days. I'll be there on the first. I'll be there working, so it's not like volunteering, but I will be there, especially for the interest fair. So yeah, so your president will be there. I think some other people, I don't know, Annette, you seem to be down to clown for any of these events, so you're probably gonna be there.
For something.
Okay, yeah, so if you feel like you can't come, like know that we'll be there with you. You're not just gonna be alone, so like you'll have people there with you. I know some of you are like away for the summer. So no worries if you can't, but we would really like it if you could. This is a way to just get to know more students, especially welcome people that are coming in, so they can have like an experience knowing how the student body experience is going to be like, because that's what we're for. So yeah, I support you, Melina, VP Magosha.
Yeah, that was all that I had. So perfect. And yeah, everyone can feel free to reach out to me if anyone has like questions or concerns about certain days. I also did leave it open. So right now we would love if you did volunteer on a certain day to volunteer for the whole time, but I did leave some opportunity in the sign up sheet to sign up for like a partial time if people like really can't do the full time.
Okay, perfect. Sounds like that's the end of your report, and I don't see any questions.
Yep, that's
so
all I got.
good. Okay, perfect. Okay, we can move on to the advisory report.
Awesome. Can I pull up the document?
Yes.
In the chat?
Most definitely.
Good, awesome. All right, hello, everybody. Welcome on back. So a couple things that I want to discuss in my report, as you can see on the screen here, hopefully on your screens. We still are looking for folks for the orientation leader position. So what the orientation leader will be doing is you're basically going to be facilitating the conversations with our new students during our Wolfpack Welcome events, all 5 or 6 of them. Mounts out at the bottom there. I am working with Director Rome on the selection, the training, and the operation of Wolfpack Welcome for this year. And one of the things that we are still in need of is a few more orientation leaders. Currently, we sit at 11. We really would like to get to that 15. Now, with most of y'all being employees of Student Life, being that you are senators and or execs, you have the ability to do this without having to go through the application process. So my big thing is to please reach out to me if you are wanting to be an orientation leader. It is a lot of just talking with students, making sure they're feeling comfortable in that transitional piece. I will give a moment just to review the 7 bullet points here, as these are like the main hubs of it all. Again, just leave it up there briefly and I'll be quiet for about 10 seconds. And if you're like, hey, I can't read this all at the one time, I'll get you 1 second. President Brito did put this document in our chat so you can review it throughout the meeting. Here are the dates for Wolfpack Welcome. This aligns with the orientation leader process, but also with the report from VP Magosha. August 1st through August 22nd, there are 5 dates ranging from midday-ish to later at night, and one of them being at the Goodman South campus on Monday, August 19th. The only requirement is that you've completed hopefully at least 2 semesters at Madison College since fall 2022. You are enrolled in classes for this fall, and you must have a cumulative GPA of 2.25 at the time beginning this role. There are 3 training dates. I will include this in our minutes that are sent out so you can review it then. Our training dates, our first one is Monday, July 18th. It is from 12 to 3 p.m. I will put this in the chat for us all. The second is Monday, July 22nd from 12 to 3. And then the last is Friday, July 26th as we get close to our first Wolfpack Welcome Day on Thursday, August 1st. With that, I will stop sharing. Senator Crowder, you had a question?
I was just gonna say that I, for whatever reason, can't find the position posting and Handshake. And I typed in orientation.
At this point, I think it's out of Handshake. We just
Oh,
posted it.
okay.
It's more internal now, so we're just kind of asking people to like fast track things because we're part of Senate. You're already a student employee, so if you wanted to do it, you are already been vetted by, Student Senate to be part of it.
Yep.
So we kind of have some privilege here. So lucky us, but we do need people, so that's why we, shifted away from Handshake and are now looking to just hire people that we know and say that, are you willing to do the job?
Yep.
Who do I message if I'm interested?
Myself, you just let me know. Shoot me an email and then I will talk with Ellie later on. Awesome. Just as a reminder, I just wanted to voice one more time what VP Magosha said, and please review their email, connect with them if you're unable to participate at all in the Wolfpack Welcomes. We always are going to have additional things that we can do or are looking for help with, and so anyone and everybody that can participate, we appreciate that. Student Life has begun working with the College Engagement and Belonging team to facilitate conversations and programs in support of our Heritage and Action Months that are coming forward. So as we recall, and we will be looking into the future, we have, I believe it's 7 resolutions. Am I correct in that statement?
Yep, 7 currently.
We have 7 current resolutions that are in support of various different Action and Heritage Months that we are looking to pass that do align with some of the programs that are ongoing. In future meetings, I will be pulling up that spreadsheet just to show what we know is going on campus in terms of events surrounding those Heritage Months. And everybody is looking for just some type of support, and Senate is one of those ways that we can offer support, being that we are a part of Senate, being that we aren't really the programming body, we are that support body. So be on the lookout for that in future meetings. And then lastly, one thing I'm going to provide you all, as President Brito stated, we are looking to hire a new ELT advisor. We do have the 2 dates solidified for when we would bring that individual on campus. We would obviously like to have students present, especially for the meet and greet portion of this. These 2 dates, which again will be in the minutes, I'll put in the chat, are August 15th and August 16th. Times are not determined yet. But those are the dates that we do plan to bring folks to campus with the hopes that we can finish up in that time so the new ELT advisor can start pretty quickly as we get going. I'll defer to any questions.
Who's in charge of ELT for the time being? Are they meeting over the summer?
So the last I've heard is that Ellie is just working with ELT. But no, I'm not sure who is the direct point person. I have not heard of them meeting yet. But I can find that out.
Okay, are they, sorry.
Good.
Sorry, I'm very parched. Are their members filled out? I'm mostly interested in who their fundraising person is. They have a fundraising person.
I have not heard yet, but I can make that a point and I will ask, Ellie and I will
Yeah.
let everybody know.
Their fundraising person, so for everyone's knowledge, their fundraising person has the most direct tie to Senate, working with the finance committee. So they work with us to approve club funding because ELT gets a certain amount of money for clubs, and then ELT allocates it to all the clubs. So they're responsible for making sure that clubs are able to, both help students and also we give them support so they can help students, have a better experience on campus with whatever their interests are, whether it be identity or, professional or just something fun. Or all three?
Seeing no questions, I do.
Perfect. Okay, we can move on. Student Activities Board. For Student Activities Board, so we will begin scheduling our first meeting of the summer for sometime in mid-July. During this meeting, we'll be presenting some preliminary ideas for lines of consistency. And that just is a phrase that means like a consistent budget approval process. So that's a language that we learned from NACA. People from NACA had that language. So we're just going to come up with a consistent process for the budget because last year, if any of you remember that were in the room or some of you that were here last year, there wasn't really a fair process for that. And the big thing is whether or not student activities fee, which is collected from all students, we pay $12.30 per credit that we take. And we gave $10,000 to an academic program. It's not like the program's bad. Obviously, all our programs are good. The program was for, helping people become like, this is the wrong term. They're actors for like traumatic events. And I wanted to say, I feel like that's probably the most accurate term. It's not the actual term, but yeah, they act into like events where people are like dying or just like health events where people that are like learning like nursing, they can learn how to better provide bedside manner and care in these like high stress situations. But most of those actors aren't actually students. So we're taking students' money and my point of view, taking students' money and just giving it to community members, not a bad thing, but it's just not for students, which is what they pay in for. So I don't really think that fits with the philosophy of it. And hopefully we can find a resolution to that and figure out what we should be approving for budget. But that's what we're doing, and I should have a first look document ready for not this meeting, I don't have it right now, but next meeting, I should have the first outline ready, and I'm hopefully having it done by the end of this week and sending it to Ellie and Cole and Dr. Casper to make sure that they all know what's happening with that and get that draft ready for you all. But that's what's happening with SAB. Any questions? If you're confused about all that stuff, we will be going over what the SAB does overall and our budget process at a later meeting. So I don't know if that helps. Question?
Are they supposed to come back this semester too with some guidelines?
Yep, we did force the charge upon them as Senate, because basically we approve the budget, any budget that they send to us. So yeah, the goal is that we come up with our plan and say, hey, like, here is the plan as of right now. What do you agree to and what do you not agree to? Because, Senate, we're probably not going to pass a budget that includes that. So we need to come up with consistent rules for how we're going to do this, and that'll last longer. So some general rules I learned from NACA, like don't increase your budget more than 10% in a year, without that. And if we need to do it more, then there'll be like rules for that. We have our spending rule where you have to spend the reserves down to 15%. So there will be some exceptions, but like generally, some just good practices to save money for people. Just have a line in there saying that you need to be able to justify the experience for students. It needs to directly benefit them. So I think that's going to be another rule that we have written in there. And also student wages, because some positions are hourly. So last year, this is a good thing, Volunteer Center increased their wages for their positions to be hourly, and that's good. But not every single group has that. And we can't just be, looking out for ourselves and not looking out for everyone else too. So we're going to try and figure out, like, organization-wide, how are other people getting paid? And how do we bring it to be more equitable? Because, like, you can't just have your own people do well and then not care about the rest of them. So I feel like we should all be invested in that. And so that's what we're going to do. I think Senate's probably not changing their structure too much, but I brought it up to Tim Casper today, that some schools do allow, what's it called, like tuition reimbursement. So, and that might not work for some people, like, that doesn't work, but for other people, that might be a good option. So just expanding the ways in which we can, offer compensation to make our time worthwhile. Yeah. Any other questions? I don't see any. So that's everything for SAB. I think I probably spent more than 3 minutes, but sorry. Moving on. Textbook Affordability Committee, Senator Sierra Brunner.
No report.
Okay, thanks, Sierra. One thing I should mention to you, I probably am going to be reaching out to them and just going over our last year's resolution about including Spanish language or Spanish and French language textbooks, digital textbooks in that conversation. So I can invite you to that meeting if you want to come to it or if you're free, but you can just let me know when you're free if you're interested in coming in on that, and I'll make sure that you're included in the conversation for sure. Okay, sounds like you're okay with that, but we can move on. Student Parent Support Group, Senator Crowder.
No report. And
Okay.
the reason why is because I don't know. I thought our meeting was moved to this Wednesday, but I guess it wasn't.
Okay. Inclusion and Belonging Coordinator. It's not vacant as of right now, but I didn't want to force you to make a report. If there's anything you want to say now, you can, but we'll add you to the agenda next week so that you have some time, because we haven't had our orientation meeting yet, so I felt like. Yeah.
I'll say no report for now, but after reviewing everything, expect a lot more from me as we move towards the fall.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Reports from regional metro campuses, Reedsburg, Senator Stacy Brunner.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Watertown is vacant, Portage, Senator Crowder.
No report.
No report, Fort Atkinson, Senator Dirks.
Yeah, so quick update. I think it was 2 meetings ago now. I mentioned talking to someone who might be interested in filling in that Watertown senator position. Unfortunately, they're too busy with other things, so doesn't sound like they'll be able to serve on Senate. So I tried at least. I reached out, I talked to him a little bit. But yeah, just wanted to let you know about that.
Hey,
Well,
it's
that's
totally
all I
worth
have.
trying. Yeah,
Mhm.
I appreciate the effort. It's good. That inspires me. One of the people I wanted to reach out to was actually Wistria, I think her name was. And honestly, now that we have some vacancies, maybe she'd be interested because she wanted to talk about disability, accessibility. So I think it's a really good topic, and I don't know much about it, but hopefully she could help. Yeah.
I have her contact info. I could reach out to her and see if she's still interested in being on Senate, even if it isn't as a president or, like even just a general senator. I think would be good to
Tell her
have
we
another
pay. Tell her we
person,
pay.
another voice. Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
send
we
her
pay.
something.
400 for
Okay.
the summer, 750 for the school year.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I'll take care of that then.
Nice. That's cool. Thank you. Goodman South, Senator Bissonnette.
No report.
Okay, I have a report for you. When we meet so in the upcoming weeks, for all the regional senators, actually, you know what, we'll mention it later, actually, because we're gonna be talking about that later. Okay, there will be a report later, sorry. Stay tuned. Okay, college assembly, reports from college assembly and shared governance councils, college assembly, President Brito, no report for that one. Academic council is vacant, diversity and community relations council, Senator Crowder.
We met on Wednesday for about 20 minutes. We did not make quorum. Basically, we're not gonna meet again until sometime in September. It'll probably be the first Wednesday. We did receive some communication materials to review, and to give feedback by the 1st.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it? No questions? Not seeing any questions. We can move on. Thank you very much. Facilities Planning and Investment Council, currently vacant. Finance Council, President Brito. Our next meeting is Friday, July 19th at 9 a.m. I'll have some updates for you next meeting. Moving on, Information Technology Council, Senator Avila. Don't worry, Angel. I think I think I know that you don't got anything for us right now, because I think that meeting, yeah, I had a feeling. Be safe out there. Okay, moving on, Institutional Effective Council currently vacant, Student Affairs Council currently vacant. One report just from that, the Student Affairs Council, apparently they had people that were assigned to them. And, you know, whoever our Senate appointment was last year, like they didn't end up having actual students on it. So students ended up being like going to it, coming up to them with issues, but then they lost their Senate appointment and any other students just couldn't commit to the time for that. And that was part of the issues about why Student Affairs Council isn't working. So I think we need something where you need one student to be dedicated to facilitating that, perhaps. This is just one idea. And then maybe it needs to be something a little more fast paced where they like listen to student complaints and then do something with it. So this just fits into like how they want to restructure it because they've had trouble keeping people in that role. So we need to figure out a way to make it more effective to people. So just something I noted. Okay, unfinished business. Let's see. Well, he's not back yet.
Do you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, we can pull it up. Hopefully they'll just come in and it can be something quick. Maybe. Okay, can you go to the current date? Just switch the tab over.
Yep.
Thank you. So here's our current tab for the office hours. You'll see here that some people have filled in some of their stuff. So most people have a lot of good stuff in there, but you know, not everyone is. So at this point, you'd be getting a lot of points. Ibrima's excused because of the wedding, but some other people in here don't have anything yet. And again, they first are due on Monday, and this will count towards points for the summer. So the way it works is that based on the number of points you've accumulated, that might dictate or affect the amount of stipend that you'll receive. So the stipend for the summer for general senators is 400. A little more if you're a communications coordinator or inclusion belonging coordinator. So you get an extra 200 on top of that. So y'all like Lando and Layla, you're sitting at 600. So for us VPs, it's 700. So that's what we got going on, but it can be reduced by percentage points. They go in percentages of like 25, like quartiles, I think they're called. So it goes like 25, 50, 75, 100. There'll be a sheet that we'll go over and see like how did you meet your requirements, how many points did you receive, and so that's the kind of thing that we'll be talking about when it gets to the time of it. But you know, getting points doesn't really help towards that. So just make sure to log your points, and if you could just scroll up and down and see where you're at. So if you see your name and there's not much in there, it's a good reminder for you to start putting in those hours. So, I just put in all my hours today because I knew that this was going to be coming up. So I wanted to show an example, but if you could just scroll down quick. So yeah, a lot of people did put that, but some people didn't. So that's kind of what there is. VP Tao, is there anything else you want to add? I know you literally didn't hear anything that I just said, but for the office hours, anything you wanted to say? Because we kind of just went over it.
Well, that was fast.
Sorry, yeah, you weren't here.
Oh, well, I was about to say is when you are updating your information, remember to put like all the information, because I saw like just don't miss like you forgot to put your like date or like, because I saw some people just update the description and leave like the rest of like blank. Like you need to update all your information, and you can go to the I think the first file to check like the rules of this, and
The point 11, yeah.
check the rules for the attendance. And well, I'm also tracking on the like the total attendance from May, and I think majority of us are doing great. We just have some one or two that should be fine. Just be aware of that. And yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, that's nothing to add. A question, yes, VP, Senator Carter.
I just want to make a reminder to you guys that Danny and I did that how to enter hours video that you guys could share.
Do you have access to that, Cole?
I believe.
Because I think I
That
don't.
one you had emailed to me.
Yes.
Okay, we can get that.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it's
No,
helpful.
yeah, what we'll do, after this or tomorrow, we'll put it in SharePoint and I'll email it out to everybody if we can. Now we'll have it there. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Is that bad to upload that to YouTube? Because it's internal, we probably shouldn't, right?
Well, the reality to it is it's an instructional video.
Okay.
So theoretically, we're not giving away any identifying information.
That's true.
But we could put it on YouTube if we wanted to with with the Senate thing. You want me to do that?
Yeah, I think it's fine. If someone really wanted to watch a video about how to enter your hours, I don't think that's changing anything bad. Yeah.
No, theoretically, there's no information there that would
Okay.
create any issue.
Yeah, let's put it on YouTube. I think it's just another way for people to access it,
Okay,
make it easier.
all right, I can work on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so that'll be good. So moving on, we just checking to see. So Senate committee assignments, that's from advisor Kelly Okoto.
Yep.
You can go for it.
Thank you. I'm gonna pull this up quick. So I can have the link of itself. Second. Just well, let's caption here. All right. All right, everybody. So, we did get the committee assignment form out. And so I just wanted to take a brief moment to talk about this and actually give a little bit of time for anybody who has not completed their form yet for their committee assignment to do so. But things I wanted to discuss real quick, as y'all can most likely see, hopefully you can see on your screen. If you cannot, please put it in the chat and I can adjust accordingly. Right now, the biggest focus that we're looking at is the only required selection of committees, which is our standing committees. As I've stated many times and has been talked about, shared governance councils are in flux at the moment. There is determination if they're going to, some are going to be active, if they're going to become other things, we just don't know. And while it may create a little bit more work to us, have to identify those later on for additional positions to fill. The reality to it is, I don't want to create more work for y'all, have y'all in flux. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, as being a part of these committees or councils is a part of your position. So we do have the 7 current committees that we've identified that are going to be active and available for everyone to participate in. The first 4 that you see are our standing committees directly within Senate that are chaired by our VPs. And so with those, the Finance Committee, chaired by VP Tao, Legislation and Rules Committee, VP Hashmi, Public Relations is VP Magosha, and then Team Development, VP Salifu. Once we have everybody set and situated, President Brito and I will sit down and talk about what are certain things that each committee can work on, as that's been a question that I've gotten pretty consistently, is what do these committees do? They can really do anything that falls within the scope of that specific committee. And if you'd like to know more about that, we can review what does the position of that VP have and how does that align with the committee. But we have been trying to create certain and specific tasks as it relates to that. And that is also something I know that President Brito has been wanting to look at adding to our teams, which hopefully everyone is looking at the teams for tasks that you can complete. The 3 that are theoretically outside of the VP scope is our Lieutenant Governor for the Wisconsin Student Government position. So VP Hashmi is the governor. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Still learning this. So we are looking for somebody to serve as the Lieutenant Governor, who will also serve in lieu of VP Hashmi not being able to attend certain things. So that is an undertaking that we do recognize as a committee responsibility. We also are looking for an alternative rep to the Student Activities Board. VP Tao is our current representative for the SAB. We are looking for that alternative. So if he is unable to attend, you would attend for him, provide us that information, serve as that voting representative for Student Senate. And then lastly is Textbook Affordability Committee. As the resolution was passed last year, we're continuing to look at cost-saving measures to make sure that Madison College is affordable to our student population. Textbook affordability is also one that we are wanting to make sure that we have here.
Before we move on, just
Yeah.
a question quick.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I raised my hand earlier to ask about hours, but yeah. Essentially, can I still ask my question?
Yeah, sorry, we missed you. That's our fault for not.
Okay,
See.
it's
Go ahead.
fine. I just wanted to ask if since this is more geared towards like, what we've done so far, would training, like doing the Senate training, count towards the office hours?
Yes,
Okay.
you can mark that down.
All right. Sounds good. I think that's all
Meet a
I
senator.
have.
Yeah,
And
meet a
meeting
senator,
new
so-
senator, yeah.
So when me and you met last week, that counts, so we can mark that down for us.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
I have a question about the office hours attendance. So we are starting counting the attendance and office hours starting this week.
Last week too, so this 2 week period, it began from, yeah, so not last week's like, not the General Assembly meeting, but last week, so for us, Executive Council.
So that, so let me change it. So we are counting the attendance, like GA attendance and
Starting today.
the office hours from July 1st.
That's correct. Lando, did you have another question?
Yeah, I just thought of something right now when VP Tao was talking. So what's the difference between in and out of office hours? Is it just like, is in office hours meetings and then out of office hours is everything else you do on top
So
of
it
that?
used to be that, this was back in 2020 when this was like updated, so the reason why was, were you physically on campus or is this a virtual thing? And you'd have
Yeah.
virtual office hours where you like made yourself available for like an entire duration of an hour, so you just had to like be there, sit there on like recording and say like, hey, I was there. So that's what it used to be. I don't know, we don't really need that right now, so technically, if you didn't fill it, I wouldn't be upset with it. I don't know, Vivital, what do you think? It's not the, I don't know, what do you think before I say more?
Well, from my understanding, just like it's in person or online thing. So it depends on what's the best for the person.
Yeah, so we don't realistically need that. It was just a remnant from last time, so perhaps we could just remove it. You could do that if you wanted to. There's not really a purpose for it anymore.
Okay.
You could just
Yeah.
delete the whole column, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say initially I thought in office hours was like, meeting like, up with other people and like,
That's fine.
like General Assembly meetings, attending those, but then out of office was more of like the stuff you would do, like the training and like some of the other things where you're not necessarily interacting with other senators or that sort of thing. But yeah, just thought I'd ask
Yeah.
about that because I was a little confused when I was filling in my hours. I'm like, what's the difference between in and out? I just assumed everything I did was out, so I marked it that way.
Yeah, you are virtual right now, so that makes sense. We deleted it, so now it's not there anymore. One thing that once you get your committee assignments, we're gonna be start putting the attendance for not just the General Assembly, but for your 2 committee assignments on there as well. So that'll be part of the attendance that counts towards it, so.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Do we have any other hands? Nohaya, VP Salifu?
Yes, my question is for Cole. I saw in the group chat you put some day for the orientation leader training.
Yes.
So my question is, can I use like if I wanna attend the training, can I use these hours as like office hour?
So I'm gonna have to say for that, no, because the orientation leader training is specifically for that job that is the orientation leader aspect.
Yeah.
So that is separate from Senate operation. Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. That's a good question, being that you do serve as a senator, but because you're serving as the orientation leader and not as a senator going through the training just because it's gonna be helpful, we have to have that separation of the hours, but I appreciate the question.
What if you aren't, because are you getting paid? Are we getting paid for this
Yes.
or? Oh, okay, yep, so that's the difference. Yep, so since you're getting paid, I understand. Yep.
Yeah, I apologize, yes.
We
Yep,
getting
you will be
paid
paid for
that?
the training and all of the others.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you get paid for training and that's why it's like that.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to make some money, Nohaya.
How much is
you-
it?
It's 15 an hour, I'm guessing. I would get if there's a minimum requirement, you'd get paid 15 an hour unless you've done it before, you'd only get paid you get paid 16, so you get $1 an hour raise, just like how you get paid $16 in the IE, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've done it for a year, because this is our first year doing it, you get 15. So that's the
Oh.
only way. Everything's $15, minimum when it becomes hourly at Madison College.
Oh, okay, I see.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Well, moving on.
My last,
Sorry.
so my last quick thing to note for now is we do want you to describe your interest in the committees that you select. And at the bottom, we also want you to rank them if you selected multiple. So I did see some folks put like 3 or 4 committees they were interested in. Understand you're filling out the councils, that's all right. But as you're filling out those committees, please make sure you rank them of what you're interested in. I do want to we'll take a minute, 2 minutes here. Being that we have this stuff set ready to go, if you haven't completed your committee assignment request yet, please do that now. Being that we have asked everyone to be able to be present and attend. I did send a link out to everybody in an email. I believe it's committee assignment.
Can you post in the chat? Or
Sure.
I can actually.
Okay, hi, thank you very much, President Brito. We'll post it in the chat. So with that, please complete that if you can now. We'll take the next 90 seconds and I'll keep track. Once that 90 seconds is passed, again, the due date to have these completed is end of day Friday. And if we need to extend it, we'll make that decision at that time, but it should take no more than hopefully 2 minutes to complete. So please do so now.
Yep, so I just posted in the chat, so you should be able to see it. And if you just click open that link and just write what you're interested in, go right ahead. We'll do our best to match your interests. But we do need these committees to be like, staffed. So someone last year, finance committee, I was a lonely number of just one member with me. So it's just me and Senator Clearwater. So I just had one person with me, but don't be afraid of finance. I'll sit in there and help out since I'm a finance person through and through. So there'll be at least 2 people there with VP Tao chairing that. So if you want to spend extra time with us, come to finance. Otherwise, the other ones that are really popular are team development, public relations. Only so much spots, but yeah, so just keep those in mind. So we need to staff everything. So put your preference down and hopefully we'll try and match people with what they want. The executive council will be the ones deciding that. So like we'll be going through it, taking all your results and trying to appoint you to certain places. And we'll announce it next week on the 25th. And then when we'll talk about what happens after that, like going to your actual assignments. The other thing is that if you do want to be lieutenant governor for Wisconsin Student Government, you also are the chair alongside VP Hashmi for the rules committee. So we'll figure out how to split the responsibilities there. But I just wanted that to be noted, that I think it makes sense for that person to also be on legislative, because rules is basically the bylaws. So how does the bylaws and constitution work with us? And then legislations are legislative affairs, which focuses on how do we present ourselves externally to either the state legislature, the city, any other governing bodies, mostly Wisconsin student government, but that has to play. So if you're interested in politics and making that difference, you should really put your name in for that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. We'll take 30 seconds and then I will yield to President Burrito.
I was looking for Kleenex on your desk.
Did you fill out the form in it?
Not yet.
Do it when you can. Have you done it yet, Leila?
No, not.
The committees?
I have not quite done that yet.
Yeah, you can take the time now, and honestly, while we're doing some of the presentation, I don't mind, me and Ohio have a long presentation time, so I don't mind if you passively listen while you do that, just so you can get that work done. But yeah, our VPs, they don't need to be part of another committee, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, because-
That one, so they-
Yeah, because team development's working with public relations working with team development. You're gonna be doing the SAB, and then Hassan is doing rules and legislation, so he'll be, WSG as well. So I think everyone's covered their bases.
Is in the science team is or group is joined, I think.
They do, no, you have your alternate rep, so basically you going to SAB counts as one of your committees. Yeah, so that's your extra work. With Hassan, he has WSG, which counts as his extra work.
What's the name of the group? that you-
Wisconsin Student Government.
I mean, the group that you mentioned back on the executive council, you said student group that's is student group that wants to join
The STEM club.
okay.
So STEM Club wants to become an organization. So there's student clubs, which are ran by ELT, and then student organizations, which get access to the student activities fee and get a budget, and they can make their own programming. They have a staff member or like an advisor assigned to them, and they make decisions about how the budget is spent. And the last group to be added to SAB was Volunteer Center in 2004. So we haven't really had much addition to it. STEM Club has been around for longer than 3 years. I want to say it might be actually exactly 3 years, but I think it maybe came out of COVID.
Become like an organization.
They do, yes. So they'll be coming up to us with their presentation for their budget and their 3-year plan. So they just have to have a mission statement. They have to have an organizational plan, and they need to present their budget, and the SAB will be voting on it. That information is not ready yet. I'm just letting you know that that's something that very likely will happen. They're not ready to present that yet, but I just want to put on people's radars because the more you say things, the more likely it is to happen. It gets the pressure under them to do it. So
Do you know,
Very interesting.
I knew you would be. That's why I brought it up. I know you're interested in science, so
For kind of tutor stuff.
yeah. So we also have some research stuff coming up, so we'll talk about that later. But it sounds like that's enough time. Oh, sorry, hand up.
do you know if Rise is on the horizon for doing that too? I know they were talking about it at the last meeting I was at, and I directed them to talk to you.
So they can, but there's a rule saying that a club needs to have 3 consecutive years of existence. So they wouldn't be ready right now, but if they
Okay.
wanted to talk to me, I can give them materials for it, but because they weren't coming to me and because they weren't eligible technically for it, I wasn't gonna like do it unless they were ready, but yeah, if you want me to actively go to them, I can. Yeah, so they can get ready for it, but yeah. So we can talk,
Okay.
we talk, so we can do that. Yeah, okay, we can do that. We're good to go? Okay, let's move on. So people, you can take your time to do that. It is due by tomorrow. I'll message you all. Cole, if you don't mind, just like messaging people if they haven't done it yet, just like a reminder to them individually, if you wanna, BCC them, so you can just send a message to them all and then they'll see the same message. So that sounds pretty good. Now we can move on to the NACA presentation. Can you pull that up? Or do you want me to, or?
That's in the SharePoint, correct?
It is in the SharePoint. It is in today's new business folder.
Perfect, yeah.
And so Nohaya, are you ready? This is like our thing.
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're pulling it up. We put a lot of pictures in it for you. We got a lot of ideas. So I'll try to go through, okay, we're 1 hour in our agenda. Let me just take a quick look at our agenda. Oh wait, I'll just use this one, sorry. I'll just take this one here and make sure. Okay, so where we are, 30 minutes, 10:10. Okay, we're good on time. So try to make this count exactly. And we have a furry friend over with Sylvia, I see. So, oh, and there we are. There's me, Nohaya. This is the NACA Student Government Institute. This is the friend that we made. Do you remember her name, Nohaya?
Yeah, I think it's Janet.
Yeah, Jenna. She's over at Emory University from Georgia. So we made friends with her. She was the only student at her college, but she was the president of her her college student group. So we just made sure to work with her and some people from North Carolina, just so that we could better understand how they work, because we all did not have our advisors there, and we were all working with each other. And that was actually really nice to talk to other presidents and see what was going on at their school and see what we could learn from them. But moving on. This is the outline we're gonna go through, so I had Nohaya approve it, so you approve this outline, Nohaya? Yes? Okay,
Yes.
well, Nohaya, yeah, okay, thanks. Nohaya did look at it. This is what we're gonna go through, so we're just gonna probably overview what it was, what's the operations model, which we're looking through it with, and we're gonna talk about what the operations model is and how you apply it. There's our cool policy ideas, and then me and Nohaya will give our own personal takeaways on the matter. Next slide, please. So overview, NACA's vision is to create college communities where everyone belongs. Sounds pretty similar to what you want to do, Layla. So it's like inclusion and belonging. So I think that's pretty cool. But there's a group of all of people in the president's work group. There's a bunch of people that are all interested in making sure that presidents or that their schools are really invested. We have the Wisconsin trifecta here. This is from Carthage College. This is Nathan, and this is Karime from Green Bay. And she's actually she'll make an appearance later on in some of our other ideas. But basically, there's about 60, 70 people in the room right now, Haya.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know how many schools there were. There's more than 10. So I knew that that was true and factual. There's probably closer to 20, maybe even 30, but I don't know the number. But generally, just understand that that's how many people were in the room and where they were from all across the United States, from Florida, from Texas, from New Jersey and Georgia, and some Wisconsin, North Carolina, a bunch of other places, Alabama, I think too. But yeah, it's just other student leaders talking about the issues going on at their school. And one of the things that we learned is that, some schools, their student governments don't pay them like anything hardly. Only the executive teams get money and, their general senators don't. And there's a reason why they don't have base student senates because they're not paying them. So I think that's one lesson we learned. How do we make compensation work for us? Again, as I mentioned earlier, some people get their tuition reimbursed, which can be a lot of money if you're taking a lot of credits. So if you're taking like 18 credits, although you might not be able to do it with Student Senate, that's one of the things that, ends up happening is that, there's different ways to compensate people. That's one thing that, Negotia, I know you're interested in, and that we wanted to really, I took your idea and ran with it there and just saw how other people are getting compensated. So, it's just a lot of different ideas about how schools can be run. And one of our policy ideas actually came from Ohio. You had that idea. But Karime is the one that, kind of talked about it and got you to talk about it yourself. So thank you, Karime, for influencing us. And the common hours actually came from this dude here. He goes to school in Minnesota, St. Cloud University. And, common hours, an hour where we just all have time to ourselves and can work with clubs. Like that's what his school did. So why can't we do that? And, the one thing that we all agreed on is that sometimes, we work with administration to become friends, but sometimes we work against them, and, we're both. So every single other president there, they all were at odds with someone at their school. Because, Student Senate, like, we want to work with people, but you can't always work with people because I think we all generally agree. Every single person there, had some trouble with their administration. So we like to make noise. I think that's something that student government does. So we try to figure out, the appropriate amount to do that. So we learned about when and where to work with people and what you should or shouldn't do. So I don't know. It's always a test of learning how to apply the right balance of that. But anything to add, Nohaya?
Oh no.
Okay, I'll ask you that for every slide, but we'll move on for now.
Okay.
Okay, well, maybe not for this one. So there's Nohaya here. So they're doing their little exercise where you stand out loud and, make yourself known. So that was a fun exercise. So we got that picture there. But the operations model that it's going off of is that, we are Senate, right? We're our own little group here, right? So like us, we think about ourselves internally and how we operate ourselves. We have our meetings, we have our reports, we think about what it is that we're going to do and where we're going to go. Then we're part of something bigger. We're part of the student body. And within the student body, you'll see that there's things like Wisconsin Student Government. We talk to students from other schools. We talk to SAB, the Student Activities Board, students in other student organizations, just like Senate. And then there's that's worth us working within the student body. And then there's the school system, like the administrative part, like Dr. Daniels, the president of the college, all the people on shared governance. I guess our advisor kind of fits in a weird way between all three of those things. But, there's a lot of different ways we can view things. But this is working with the administration. And so it's like working within all these different bubbles and understanding where our roles are within all of them. So school system, student body, Senate. Keep that in mind because we're going to move on and we're going to talk about each of those bubbles and how we fit into it. So systems-wise, you'll see here are Matt Karsten. So I don't know, we didn't make an announcement, but Matt resigned. So yeah, so he's not going to be with us anymore. Just to kind of focus on his own thing. But he definitely still cares, and you'll see him around on campus. But here he is in Washington, D.C. with our former Student Senate President, Giovanni Michaud. Here we are with WSG. There's Annette right there and some other current members of Senate. So there's Angel and Maggie. So we got that going on. But here we are with Wisconsin State Representative Samba Balda. And that's the kind of things that we do, systems. We create change within systems, we work within shared governance, we work within the Madison College president and cabinet. There's the president right there, and some of his cabinet members, the district board, so they're the ones that oversee the president. That's what the meeting that I go to every single month because they make decisions about how our school spends money, and other things too. Wisconsin student government, so we get a chance to go to the Capitol and talk to other people there and see what other schools are doing within our system. And the Temple College system, which kind of runs like in conjunction with Wisconsin student government. So I just wanted to like kind of go up the chain for every single one of these things because this is like shared governance where we work with administration, then it goes to the president and his cabinet, and then the district board is kind of in charge of him. So these are like different ways in which our system operates. And we should understand where they are because if we want to make something happen, we have to know the key players of each one of these things. So we'll be showing up to some of these things and I'll be encouraging you all to attend a district board meeting with me when I think it's really important. So I'll be asking you all to do that during the school year. Right now, it's kind of, if you're really interested, sure, but I think right now is not really the time, but we'll talk about it later. Moving on. Student body, inclusion, belonging. So here we are, student senate with PTK, we did PTK's event where we volunteered to take over the flag display for the 9/11 memorial. Here we are also for RISE. So we did a RISE presentation that, Annette got us connected with. And, we just kind of did like Wolfpack welcome for RISE. So there's all of us there at Student Senate. But here's like all the ways in which we could be collaborating with students. The Student Activities Board is what, VP Chow will be doing. So we talk about the budget there. Interclub Council. So it's something that if you're able to, I'd like you to work with that and just see how clubs, especially identity-based clubs, are getting together and making their events happen. Wolfpack welcome, VP Magosha just talked about that. But then, how can we collaborate with programming activities councils? They're gonna be coming in pretty shortly, talk about how we can be going to regional campuses and attending their events and helping out with that. Intercultural exchange. Now, Haya, you're part of that. You want to talk about intercultural exchange?
We were because IE is doing a lot of event, so we were planning to do like some collaboration with IE, so that can be a way for students to be like more involved in the campus activities. So like when we do some event, I probably reach out to you to all of the students senate if you can do like some volunteering. So come and if you have some t-shirt, people know, okay, that is a student senate, so they come here to volunteering. So I think if you get like more involved, people can like more trusting us and be feel free to come to talk with us.
Yeah, for sure. And it fits in really well with like what we want with the ELT, executive leadership team, because a lot of their clubs, they work with Intercultural Exchange to put on events. So that's a kind of cool thing that they already have like an internal collaboration right there on Clarion Media. That's like the newspaper and the poetry journals. They're doing a lot of cool things. We collaborated with them last year to host our Senate Town Hall. So that was a cool collaboration where people got up and, on the microphone and you could hear people talk about their talents and comedy and singing. So that was nice. Athletics games. We should go to athletics game this year. I'm a fan of soccer, so maybe I can watch a volleyball game or basketball game. If y'all are interested, we can make those events happen. Performing arts shows. I went to 2 shows last year. Didn't get to go to the musical, but it's kind of fun to just go together and just talk about what you saw. And then volunteer center. This was kind of like a volunteering event. We did this for PTK, but maybe Senate can be doing volunteering together. So these are just ways in which we thought we can be working with them. And they all serve the student body. And all of us kind of want to have the same goal, use of funds responsibly to enhance the student experience on campus. So this is what we all want to do, but we should find ways to do it. We should work with people in order to do things, because obviously we need all have our like areas where we have expertise, but we can all help each other in areas where they're interested. Because everyone knows how to volunteer, everyone knows how to attend a game and just have the spirit. Everyone knows how to learn about different cultures. They might be responsible for it, but we can attend. We can show up. Next slide. And then this is within our Senate. We got to work with ourselves. So, Haya, Haya can take care of this whole thing because, a lot of this falls on in her role to kind of just normally do. So, you want to talk about this stuff, Haya?
Yeah, so we were talking to do like some training day because right now it is summer, everybody have like kind of like some free time. So do some training so people can be more comfortable about like the roles, what they're supposed to do before the first semester we begin. and we find like also doing like some exercises or some games so that can help us like to connect with each other because a lot of Senate right now it is new, so we want to create like some activities that can help to create some link between us, so that can like so we can trust each other. So that is a part of this training too, and also like we said like I talked about earlier, be part of like the event, do some volunteering, so people can be like they can know the student center is really exists and we can get more involved, people can know us better. So that is the thing that we talk about like I can talk about this slide.
Yeah, and then obviously Senate committee projects, once you get your committee assignments, you can work together on things. Here is the PR committee talking about ways in which we can, increase PR on our campus. So, making a brochure, getting active on social media, figuring out why people don't know about Senate and what we can do to make sure that people know or how people know about it. Because that's a big thing. Some people just don't know that Senate exists. So let's like find out ways to, be bold and make ourselves known. Next slide. Here's some policy ideas I'm gonna go through quick and we're gonna deep dive into one of them. So, we again mentioned this before, but dining services, food distribution to students, we're gonna go really in depth on that. But expanding reflection room, we already talked about that, we need to have space for additional reflection room because that's what the students want and need. Creating common hours on campus, like what if we had that common hour so we can all collaborate with each other and just chill out, have lunch, or go to a club meeting. The other one is the lines of consistency, which I mentioned again, with the student activities fee budget allocation. So that'll be coming up at another meeting when we go more into what the SAB is. And then once I have that plan document ready, we can really talk about it. So it might just be next meeting where we go really down into it, but just finding a way that we can equitably allocate the student activities fee budget for all the other student organizations, including adding STEM Center to the SAB. So things to consider. Anyways, we're gonna jump into our policy idea for dining services. So,
Not funny.
Oh, sorry, was that one? I apologize.
oh, that was it.
Okay, well, I jumped in. Go ahead.
Yeah, campus advocacy strategy. So not gonna have a framework for how to think about things. We need to think about impact factors. We need to think about challenges. We need to think about who do we need to involve. So this is the first side of it, impact factors. So what would doing this for? So basically, what's it called? Dining services closes at 4 p.m. and afterwards they have some food left over. They make all these burgers, they have sandwiches left over, and it's like, well, if you have all this material, you're gonna throw it out. Why don't you just give it to students? So this is what me and Ohio thought. So these are the ideas that it would address. So it would address campus food insecurity. It would address, just getting the leftovers to somewhere instead of just throwing it away, and it would increase shared governance. So we can work with dining services to make sure that our food is better. And these are the outcomes. And Ohio, you want to just go over why this is generally good?
Yes, okay. So it is good because that way, like Kai said earlier, after like 4 p.m. the dining room is closed. So by implementing this leftover food, the students who come like who have classes until like 9 p.m. they can have some food. That can also help like to reduce waste of food in the dining room. And I think that can like also help students who come like to school, they don't have money to buy lunch, they just have to wait until like 4 p.m. and then they can get some food. Also for the dining room staff, we will also thinking about like adding a little bit the budget because the leftover we are going to use it. And also like for the student who's working in the dining room, they can also have like kind of make some extra money too, because that is also like the part if you add the budget for the dining room to make that project happen. So that is what we think about this project.
Yeah, and some other things, this fits in our sustainability metric. That's part of our 3-year plan to think about sustainability. So we do that. Maybe it'll cost less if they're, wasting less food and it goes to something that we have something to talk about bragging with, addresses the food insecurity so students can actually just eat when they're here past 4 p.m. because not a lot of people are. And how are you supposed to eat? There's vending machines, but they're not exactly the healthiest option. Or if they are, if you go to farmer's fridge, it's kind of expensive. So just giving that opportunity for just to reuse something that's already there. And also, dining services, they're not doing great. Last I heard from 2022 to 2023, they were $615,000 in the hole. So That's not good. We need to find ways to improve our operations budget for dining services. And maybe this would be one way to address something and make something good happen out of it. Next slide. Now, part of the NACA framework, we need to think about what are the challenges. So like, it sounds really nice, but we need to think about like ways in which some issues that we anticipate here. So one would be like food safety standards. You can't just leave it out there. Where are you going to store it? Well, and also like how are you going to staff the program? And then, what are the conflicts with dining services, sales, and revenue? So I don't know, Haya, you want to just talk about like these three main challenges that we've kind of identified?
Yeah, so we identify like they have safety because we were thinking like about getting some fridge so we can put the food inside and also put like some due date because we don't want like the food to stay there for about like probably 2 or 3 days, so then we eat them and then they can have like some F issue, so we want to reduce that. We also talk about like implementing and staffing of program. That means like because if you had to make that project happen, at the end of the shift, the dining room staff supposed to take the food out and put it in the fridge, in the boxes, and put some label. And also, we also need people to clean that fridge. So also that is like one of the challenges because we can, I think every night the students suppose they have some student worker who clean all of the table. So maybe we were thinking about them cleaning the fridge and cleaning like the area so we can make sure everything is clean. And also we talk about conflict with dining room because they can say, oh, probably the staff is taking that food at the end. Why do you want us to put it away for the student? Or maybe we don't have enough budget to do it. So we were thinking about like them maybe say no because of the money or because like of the extra work that project going to like make them, because that is some extra work too. But we wanna, I mean, still wanna try it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely it. It's like, I think it's worth trying because if we're just throwing it away at the end of the day, I mean, why not find some other use for it? Especially like when we could be doing this with it. So I think there's definitely space for it. So we need, obviously, this will be a long project, but these are just some of the considerations, challenges that we thought about. And the last one is like, I don't know, some people thought, this is a very econ question. Will giving away free food discourage students from buying food during the day? Well, my response to that is that no, if you already weren't buying food, you kind of just would personally suffer. And we don't want to make people suffer and just be hungry throughout the day because they don't have money. I feel like we're solving a problem more than we are creating like an incentive structure because I feel like if people are hungry during the day, they're gonna buy food. So there's that. Annette?
I was just gonna mention that maybe we wanna look into like, what the food pantry policy is. I know that Quick Trip, they give away their, sandwiches to, like, our local food pantry, Beyond Blessed, and I think they freeze them maybe, but I'm not sure. But I know that there's already a system in place that does something like this, where Quick Trip does a lot of donations, to food pantry, at least to the Beyond Blessed, the one in Bearwood, so.
Yeah, we have partnerships with Second Harvest. We actually purchase food from Second Harvest, so we can ask them. We can also ask Karime, who actually did this at her school. So because she implemented at her school, she's in at UW Green Bay. I think it's a pretty nice like next step because we got her contact information and we can ask her how her school does it. So I don't know, I like the fact that we're collaborating within our school. So I think it's really nice to do that. The other thing about this is like, we're not asking them to make more food so they can give it away to them. We're just kind of asking them to solve a problem of they're throwing away food. It's not much, but it is food that they're throwing away. Maybe we could be doing something with it in addition to the service that we already offer. We already have a food pantry on campus. It's not like we don't care about food insecurity. So we care about it. So why not just add a little extra to it? And we're not encouraging them to make some food just to give it away for free. This is food that they're throwing away already. So, yeah, moving on. Yeah, so obviously, all these problems, there's a lot of people you got to stay in contact with. And really, we're trying to identify some people to be in contact with to make this idea happen. You should talk to Kim Henderson, Director of Auxiliary Services. We don't have a head chef right now. They're working on hiring that. So that's another person that probably want to be looped into the conversation. Operations management part. Dr. Sylvia Ramirez, she's the Chief Operating Officer for the college. figure out, like how would this impact their budget and just, run it by her. Cody White, so actually, Melina brought this up, second floor, right across from the SAC, there is a space that looked like it used to be a cafe. And maybe we could install a fridge there, and that could be the spot where, they bring their food from dining services, bring it upstairs to that area and then store it in that fridge. People could come over there. And, like the SAC is open until I think 7 p.m., but maybe you could like walk there and it could be staffed by students because students are working in the SAC until 7 p.m. So I feel like it wouldn't be hard to find a student to run the food pantry up until that point. So like we should identify that space because I did check it out today and there's room to put a fridge in there if we cut out one of the tables. But that's one of the things that we'll have to consider. Where do we put the space on campus? That might not be there, it might be somewhere else, but I think that's a good contender for what to do with that space that is currently empty, just sitting out like that. Student engagement, we should talk to Dr. Kim Casper. The reason why is because he's, the co-chair of the Student Activities Board. I think makes sense. Make Ellie Rome involved in that because, she talks to a lot of the administration. So I think that's good. And then Denise Holland, this is a good one, Pure Health Educators, because they run the food pantry. So maybe they'd be interested in running this too, or assisting in some way, or just have knowledge about it. So these are some of the key players. There might be other people, but I think this is a good, Avengers Assemble, display of like who we could talk to get this idea off the ground. Next slide. And then, quickly, my key takeaways are that, there's structures in which we should think about how the organizations operate. We should think about how we operate as a system ourselves. We should talk about how we operate within systems of the student body and the student, shared governance. So in the school administration, and that's the administrative frameworks part. We need to advocate and we also need to build coalitions. When we advocate for things, we have our ideas for, what we think is right. We also need to bring people in with us so that they can advocate alongside us and that we can't forget who we're advocating for and making sure that they're part of the conversation. Team leadership or team development, that's literally, Nohia's title. So we need to work with ourselves and figure out how do we get to know each other so we can operate effectively. And these are good opportunities for leadership. So I think that's all that I learned from NACA. We had a fun time seeing that picture there. But Nohia, all you now, you can end us off.
We have a
Yeah.
hand raised from.
Oh, sorry, is there a question?
Yes, we have a hand raised from Senate Representative.
Yes, Sylvia, you want to go?
Well, I just had like a quick idea. I know that we're just like discussing this idea and about getting a fridge. What if we like collabed with like Habitat for Humanity and brought some volunteers, or what if we collabed with the food pantries around town or whatever, like that one, it's called like River Food Pantry. What if we collabed with them? Like, hey, what if you give us a fridge and like we'll bring some volunteers? I don't know, it was just a thought.
No, definitely. We do currently have a partnership with Second Harvest, so I feel like that'd be a good place to start. Like, just so we are nice to them since we currently do that there. But we definitely can start there and see where it comes. So yeah, maybe that's another person we should reach out to. See, it wasn't exhaustive, but when you bring it forward, people come up with good ideas. So yeah, we can put Second Harvest on that list.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for that. Where were we? Nohia. Yeah, you want to finish us off?
Yeah, okay. Some point that I retained from NACA. The first one, it is shared governance. Leaders become facilitators. They initiate improvement by sharing idea. I just want to say, like, for what I learned, nobody is better than no one. So, of course, we are leader, but our role it is to help the other students by sharing our idea, like what we are doing right now, sharing some idea, and together we can make some conclusions. So, I think that is a big point of a shared government, and is what I learned. For the second point, identity, well, we talk about that a lot about your identity, where you're coming from, which challenging you face based off your identity. And the big thing that I written is like your identity do not define you, and also stop judge people based on the identity. Instead, make them feel heard and understand, make them feel like comfortable make them feel understand. I think that is a big way to like really be involved and really help people. Can you put the next slide, please? And belonging is personal to each of us. Is not like, oh, I just want to mind my business or something. No, if you want to be belonging, you need to be like belonging with everybody. And also, we talk about, I didn't add it here, but we're talking about like 5 tenets of belonging by Karen Taylor, and the name is calling peace is psychological safety that comes with trust, safety, and curiosity. The E for empathy. You have to care, be compassionate. The A comes for acceptance, authentic self. Be yourself. Don't be someone else. Just show how you are, and people will like we take you the way you are. The C come with connections, wanted to be part of something, wanted to be like make some change. And the E come with embrace, that is talking about the value, the respect, and the appreciations. And I think that is really important to mention that. Also, we talk about emotional intelligence, that is emotional regulations. I think everybody is dealing with some emotion sometime during that time. And the best way is like if you feel like you're not feeling good, or I suppose like during meeting, you don't feel like you are your emotion is like really good. That is okay. You can just try to deal with that. And if you can just let us know and then take your time. And also when they have some situation, because we are leader and we can be like face some situations sometimes, so you have to base of the situation know how to deal with that. So that is also like the part of the emotional regulations. And we talk also of followership, and the mention that are written like follower is not synonym with subordinate, but instead is someone who share a common purpose with the leader. It's not because I will, okay, I'm like a part of a group and I have my president that if you tell me like do this, I will just go and do the same thing. No, you a leader too. If your president tell you do this and if not agree with that, just say like, okay, I think you're right, but I have this idea. So it's just like I think everything's about like communications, sharing your idea and don't be afraid to say, oh, maybe they'll say my idea is wrong or maybe they will not agree with that. No, that is not like followership. Followership, it is people who is leader and follow another leader and don't be afraid to share the idea. So yeah, that was my big takeaway from NACA.
I agree. Thanks, Elia.
Oh,
Yeah, that was not good.
I also
Oh,
want to think like when we were doing, because we do some small group and we talking about like some other club, I think from New Jersey, talking about like the icebreaker. I really want to bring that back because I think sometimes the meeting is long. It's like sometimes 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. People can be like, oh, sleepy, or be like, oh, that is long. So I was thinking like we can bring some topic, maybe like today talking about the weather or talking about like some movies or doing some game, or maybe you can do some bingo. So like couple days before the meeting, everybody can give some fun fact about them, and you can do like, okay, you have to like um divine, or I don't know how the right word, but you have to like find another fun fact about someone, maybe get some prizes or maybe get like something we like, just do something fun so people can be like um distract a little bit but also like be in the business. I think that can be helpful to us to be like more concentrated in our meeting. So just do like some a little bit icebreaker between like our meetings, just like 10 to 15 minutes. I think that can be like helpful. So that is also another idea that I written that I want to share with all of us. So yeah.
keep your icebreaker idea for the next week, because I think we should start it next week,
Yeah.
on the 25th. You cool with that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I do see Lando. I think you had your hand up. I think I saw that.
Yeah, so relating to what Nohaya said about the icebreakers, so it's kind of funny. So right now I'm at UW Eau Claire doing some research with a couple other guys, and like literally our first week here, I brought some games with me, you know, like Uno and just a deck of cards. And like, I feel like just doing stuff with them that first week, like playing some card games, really helped us all kind of get to know each other and get, you know, comfortable with talking to one another. And, you know, I feel like that really helps. So yeah, I feel like for icebreakers, we could do some sort of like card games at some point or another. 'Cause it's just something, you know, all of us could do. And yeah, really help us ease into our roles and help us get to know each other better. So yeah, I really like that idea.
Thank you.
And it'll be so much easier when we're back in person. So like when we do that in-person Senate training, like that'll be the first time where we can do a lot of these games in person. And then once we're back in like the semester starts, we'll be able to do more like interesting icebreakers or like questions to ask or just ways to like make this less administrative. Because, you know, we spend a lot of time just, I don't know, talking about big policy ideas, but we should get to know each other too. So that's Nohai's job and I support you, so. Thanks for sharing. I think that's it for now. So I'll try and drive as we move on, but if there's any other questions, any other questions? Okay, perfect. I don't need this. I was gonna try. Oops, stop sharing. Yeah, we can move on to the next one, but yeah, I think that's NACA. So, you know, if you're gonna be part of Senate next year and you're interested in joining, you know, like we first ask if any of the, executive team is able to go, and then, if not, then it goes open to everyone. This year, only me and Ohio could go. A lot of people are doing other stuff, but we didn't get enough space to bring Annette because Annette, it would have been good for you to be there. But that's just how it went. So sorry. And I don't know why they didn't have space. There's totally space. So I don't know why they didn't allow that, but oh well. Maybe next time. Moving on, we can go to the Senate public comment overview. So if you want to open that up, Cole, if you're able to, invite your chat. I need to start using people's official titles in these meetings.
That's summertime, I'm correct?
Yes, please. All right. So this says 10 minutes. It's not going to take 10 minutes. We're just going to talk about what we have upcoming and see if you generally like what we have in store for you. So as I mentioned before, this is what we kind of got going on. I filled this out and talked about it. So next time we will be talking about regional campus outreach. If you remember from our 3-year plan, this is our goal number 2. Regional campus and Goodman South, or regional and Goodman South campus outreach. So we'll be talking to some of the people that'll be going on here. I don't think Shauna will actually be the person that shows up. I think we have several that'll be showing up, or like the campus managers. So there's 3 campus managers that we reached out to. One of them said yes, and Hang from Programming and Activities Council said yes. So we're going to be asking them, you know, ways in which we can help them, like ways in which we could, like ways in which they need help, ways in which we're able to help. Because I think the biggest issue is that we currently don't, like, I don't know, you all have to transport yourselves. Like, who here has a car? Some people here have cars, but I don't think everyone does. I have a car. Lando, you got a car? Okay. Layla, do you have a car?
It's a work in progress.
Okay, so we're in progress. Okay, so some people here are like busters, but like, how can we ask you to go to these other regional campuses if you don't even have personal transportation? So we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna talk to Pang about it. I think she has like a van that we can all go in, so if there's enough interest and need, then perhaps we can find ways that we can, you know, show ourselves at these regional campuses. Obviously, it'd be nice if you could go to a regional campus at least once. And for the regional, you know, senators, I think it makes a lot of sense for you to go to your campus. So I almost want to make that a requirement for you. I don't think it's written anywhere, but I feel like maybe we should be like, hey, show up to your campus once. So we'll try and show up to these types of events, and they'll talk more about it. So that's what we got coming for July 25th. August 8th, I won't be here, but we put in a request to have STEM centers potentially represented. I don't think they're going to be able to, but an idea, haven't reached out to them yet, because I want to see what y'all thought. What if we reached out to the STEM center? Recently, what's it called? Computer science recently joined the STEM hub on campus to become the School of Engineering. So now it's science engineering, or science technology, engineering, mathematics. They recently combined. These are the 2 deans. And they're going to have to work to figure out how it is, but just have to come in, talk about how STEM is going to be a new focus on campus, and talk about the trades too. The trades are part of that T in STEM, but you know they were kind of separate before because we are a technical college and we have people come in for those technical degrees. This is more of a, you know, move on to a 4-year degree, but now they're going to find ways to build that together in that hub, and that's what they'll come to talk to us about. If that sounds good to y'all, I know I'm not hearing any opposition. Are you?
Oh, I think Lando has a question.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Senator Dirks.
All right, so since I'm planning on going into like, STEM related career, like, yeah, these next couple meetings look like really like right up my alley. I was going to ask about the August 22nd one in particular, about the expanding research opportunities. Is that related at all to STEM, or is that general? Like, because,
It is generally research, and some of them are science. So it's not solely science, not solely humanities or social science. It is kind of like everything. Because Dr. Marco Torres Miranda, he focuses more on the social sciences. Julia Hoslow is also like a psychology doctorate. So they have that, but they want to expand it for everyone. So they want to, because it's not like he's gonna just have social science opportunities. That might be his personal field, but because he's administration, the way he approaches it from, he does want to make he's not gonna look if I can. He does want to make it so that people could do scientific research. So that's part of what he's looking into.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask if I could at all like contribute to that discussion, because I'll be back from Eau Claire and have completed all my research stuff here by the 22nd. So, I don't know if you guys would mind, but I'd like to kind of share what I've been doing the past couple weeks and contribute to that discussion. Because yeah, there are a lot of research opportunities out there, but not a lot of people talk about what they've done so far besides at like a conference or two. So
you know what? That's the last meeting. Let's get back to you on that. I'm going to talk about with the exec council. I think they'll probably say yes, but I'm not going to speak for them. But this gives me a different idea about how this last meeting could be approached. And I wonder if, I'm just going to throw it out there, what if everyone did like, a 5 to 7 minute presentation on here's how my summer went, and we just kind of did less of a, wouldn't that be fun? I don't know. Okay, Haya, keep that in mind, or Salifu, because that could be a thing. Like, let's talk. But let's save that for, we'll announce. The executive will talk, and we'll figure out. I don't know. I just threw an idea out there. It might not make sense, but let's see what happens. And it's in consideration. Sound good? Okay.
Sounds
I did
good.
see your hand.
Thanks, Kai.
Perfect. Okay. I did see your hand in that.
I was just wondering, to that last meeting, if we should invite Zong.
Zong He. We could do that. I wonder if we'd have to make each of their presentations a little shorter than for questions. Yes.
I just feel like she's really good at helping to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Figure out what data needs to be pulled, and we might have ideas or thoughts, and she can like tell us what's realistic and what's not.
I personally think she should have her own time to present, because I feel like
Sounds good.
it's a lot, and she could definitely be like next up on the list for when that is. I do know that we need to invite the we need to do alumni relations. We need to invite the vice president of the foundation over at some point. So maybe we'll take a break from science, and then we'll invite her back like in later September. Does that sound okay? Or did you have a reason to bring her back right away?
It's just the research, the theme.
Okay. We will, I don't know, we'll talk. Maybe you have a point, although maybe instead of Julia, we could bring Zong too. I don't know. We'll think about it. It's an idea. That's okay. Okay. But we can Zong will definitely come back here. That's 100% sure. But I'll ask her, I think first thing to do would be reach out to her and ask her, hey, if you came into a presentation, how much time would you realistically need? I have a feeling she's gonna say like 40 minutes. And I'd be like, oh, that's a lot of time.
Well, even if she came and went over the parent results,
You want her to come specifically to talk about that?
that could be.
If we ask her to limit her scope, I could definitely see that fitting in. Okay, let's talk and see if she's free even. But now that we have an idea, yeah. So this is why I wanted to present it to you all and see like what ideas you had. Are there other people you want to bring? Because Cody White will be coming on September 12th. Okay, yep, he's coming, so he has to come. So that's why. He has a requirement to present to all these groups. So he's gonna come present to us and talk about what he does in facilities management. So that'll be cool. I know that we want to invite the foundation vice president / president. We'll see what's upcoming, to that. And we might invite someone from WTCS. So those are ideas. I know that we need to talk, invite someone. We might even bring in a special one. So Hassan's not here, so it doesn't make sense, but we might invite the mayor, who I've recently gotten to know this summer. So Mayor Satsui Rhodes Conway. I talk about Metro alongside our Metro person. So who knows? That's just like that's a really out there. I don't know, to our school to talk about things, but it'd be cool if she could. So we'll see. But generally, this sounds okay to people that are in the room. Things that you want. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't know. I hadn't asked you, so you happen to be sitting here. So sorry to ask you like this, but Layla, because I know VP Tao, he wanted STEM, but was there anything that you wanted, don't see on there?
No.
Not particular? Okay, well, your interests might evolve as you become more involved with, what's it called, like, inclusion belonging. So think about anything, let us know, and we can make things happen. We can ask people, all the people on here, like, we have asked, so Cody synced us out, but he has to. But, like, we can decide about who we're gonna hear for public comment. So just keep that in mind. So,
Yeah.
with that, sounds like everyone's okay, and this is what we're gonna proceed with, so we can send out these invitations to people, and maybe we can put Zong on there. You want to put Zonger underneath Julia? I think that'd be nice.
I don't think, this goes with anything. Oh, you can keep typing.
Please spell last name.
ZONG, so no H, and then HER, her.
I was just gonna, maybe sometime during the school year, I just wanna really get our state representative in that went to Madison
It's on.
College. Yeah,
It's on the list, don't
Okay.
worry, so it's gonna be a surprise, but you already brought it up, so
okay.
good on you for being sharp. It's a surprise for Hassan, so since he's not here, just don't bring it up around Hassan. We'll
Okay.
keep it a surprise for him, because he's the one that's excited about it, so. That when Hassan comes back, he'll be surprised by all the politicians that come in. It's easy because he used to go to school here, and, he asked us last year, but we just never made time for it, so, I don't know. But, now we can, so I think it'd be really cool to do an activity around that, so VP Salifu, perhaps we can, do something, and then, VP Magosha, maybe we can have like a photo op together, because you know how politicians love that, and it's good for us too, so, pretty cool.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that I think we should have some sort of, mock WSG meeting so that
Oh,
people have a good understanding of what WSG is. Maybe it'll increase our participation from our student senate members too.
that is an interesting thing that we could do. I wish I could facilitate on you know what, the first WSG meeting's in October, so perhaps September will be a good time for us to do
Yeah.
that. And we'll keep that in mind. Thank you for mentioning that. That's a good idea. Okay, cool. Does that sound, generally sounds good? Okay, moving on, the presidential search. I'm gonna make it quick because, we are running out of time to do our announcements, so I'm just gonna do a quick thing. Presidential search, as you'll see here, Dr. Daniels is gonna be retiring. He did originally want to retire on June 30th, but now he'll be retiring on December 31st, during the school year. So that's the big thing that's happening. Madison College is a cool place, been around since 1912, and you can scroll down. It actually used to be in a firehouse, if you didn't know, and they had like 24 students taking school classes in a firehouse. They used to only teach accounting, fire safety, and one other topic, maybe two other topics, but that's kind of thing. Golden Hill Associates is the firm that we hired to work with us. They hosted 10 listening sessions of that. Unfortunately, it all happened during you wouldn't probably didn't hear about this because it all happened during our final week last year. So that wasn't a good move from Gold Hill Associates, but we're working with them. Obviously now students have been able to put input. I am one of two students that's on the presidential search committee. It's me, and it's, if any of you know Joan from the lunchroom, she's on the committee with us. So that's what's happening. Here's the search process and timeline. So already in April and May, we kind of developed a profile. We solicited feedback from employees, students, community, stuff like that. For June and July, this is something I'm currently doing right now. So I won't be able to tell you everything because I'm currently under an NDA. So I can't tell you what we're discussing in the meetings. But I can tell you personally what I generally advocate for and, some of the outcomes that are made public to people. So anything written here, I can talk about. So this is what's gonna happen, as we move forward to August, September, we're gonna actually get applicants and we're gonna be looking at their profiles. And if you wanna tell me anything you wanna consider, like this would be the time, but I'm gonna go through it quick. October, November, final candidates will be selected. They're gonna come to us for interviews and we can ask them questions. So there's gonna be on the calendar, the provost is gonna work with us and we're gonna be hosting these types of things. So I can ask questions to them. And then hopefully by November, December, the board, we'll be recommending to them, who the finalists are, and then the board will be, and the president will be selecting together and appointing the next president. So we only get so far as narrowing people down to a final choice. And then we do get to ask them questions when they visit. But scroll down, please. And then I'm on the search committee. This is the search firm. So we'll go to the next one. This is the job posting. So just scroll down and click the expand, please, on the second one for Madison College. Yep, so we'll scroll down all the way to what is we're looking for the president. Where we at on time? If you just scroll up a little bit. Oh, thanks for the zoom in. That's good. So okay, yep. So there's a lot of cool things here. There's a lot of random language, but if you scroll down here, you'll see here demonstrating a passion and commitment to individual student success and the student body by seeking and maintaining. Thank you. Opening and frequent communication and interactions with student-led organizations, including the Student Senate. I'm glad that we were able to add that to come to the final presentation here. So that was, making sure that students were first and, focus on student achievement, persistence, and completion with a student-centered approach. Making sure that students come first. That's part of our, what's it called, strategic vision that we have for the 2030 vision. And so it's no mistake that it also came forth in there. But if there's anything else that you think need to be added, these are the big ones that were added to make sure that, it was considered for the president. But the other thing I want to point out, so Sylvia, I know that this matters to you. We would want to make sure that we made mention of tribal council in there, having a tribal representative or perspective lens to look at. So we are trying to think about identity, and that's what ended up coming in our last, in our final search document here. So that's what I can say here, but if there's anything that you think, what should we look for in the next president? Anything quick here that you think needs to be added based off of this? We'll send out this link to you all too, so you can, really go through it, but we'll talk about it next time and think about what does our president need to have? But generally, does this sound good? You probably all need time to read on your own. So let's just talk about this next time because we're running out of time and I'll send out the links. Anything for me, Cole?
Yep, so one thing, I'm gonna stop sharing, is that okay?
Yes.
So one thing I'm just gonna put out to all of you, and please make sure this goes far and wide, because I approve of this. When we do bring our candidates to campus, if they host any open listening sessions where they're taking Q&A, giving a presentation, on behalf of your role in Senate, if you're able to attend, that will count for your office hours because I do want our representation there. So if you're on campus or if they go to any of their campuses and you're able to attend and you can show us proof you're there, selfies are fine, I'm okay with that. That counts for your office hours and make sure that you're making your voice heard on behalf of the Student Senate because you all are representing the general student body to those who are there, but those who cannot be there as well. So I just want to be very clear with that is an effective use of your time. It does count toward your office hours.
Okay, perfect. Any questions from anyone online, in person? No? Okay, yeah, it sounds like you all need time to look over that, so sorry, I should have sent that out beforehand. But that was my bad.
We'll include the minutes.
I think, yeah, because there was deliberation over whether or not I could do that because of the NDA, but I think the answer is yes, because it's public facing, so.
Yeah, you pulled from the website, so.
Yep, there was everything from anything public that anyone could look online. So that's why, but yeah, I just had to go through check with that. So my bad, but next time, we're working on making that accessible to you all. But anyways, we'll talk about another time. You'll give input, but that is everything I've got. We can move on to announcements. Our next meeting will be Thursday, July 25th in room C2402, 4:30 p.m. Complete lesson number 6 in Blackboard. This is Wisconsin student government and Wisconsin state statute. So perhaps we can have a conversation about what Wisconsin government is. That'll be different than the mock meeting that we'll have because we'll just do that in September, it sounds like. And the other thing is stay around for lesson number 5 in the Blackboard course. We'll try and make it quick as it needs or as it can, but Does anyone have any other announcements they'd like to mention? Anything that you think we should come to? No announcements? Okay, well, with that, motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Senator Crowder. Any seconds? Anyone online? Second by Senator Bissonnette. So we'll do a vote by unanimous, or not unanimous, we'll do a vote by what's it called? A general call? Oh, man. Majority call. Okay, vote by majority. If first of all, any discussion on the matter of adjournment? Okay, hearing no discussion, we can go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Or raise your hand. I'm generally hearing people doing that. All those opposed, say nay. All those that need to abstain. And with the vote by voice call, the motion passes. We are adjourned at 6:26 p.m.